Keep Liberia safe forever. So open up your heart, let the unity begin. Love is all we need to make it stand. Let's cultivate one another. Learn to live together as brothers and sisters. Without togetherness, we won't have a peace of mind. Unify and have a peaceful, sweet Liberia. Land of liberty is our home. Keep it standing. This is the one and only home that we have. Sweet Liberia.
Confirmed cases of coronavirus. President George Weah urges public officials to stick to call of duty amidst coronavirus outbreak. United Methodist Church launches task force to combat COVID-19 in Liberia. And away from home, Nigeria hands out 4 months worth of welfare payments in 3 areas placed on a lockdown to stop the spread of coronavirus. These stories plus many more developments are all coming up in the program LNTV News Live. Let's take a short break to be back with the faces of the newsmakers. Welcome back to LNTV News Live. Liberia now has a total of 6 confirmed coronavirus cases. It followed the confirmation of 3 more cases on Tuesday. However, health authorities said an initial test done on the first 3 confirmed cases on Tuesday proved negative. Health Minister Dr. Willie Minonjala made the disclosure on Wednesday in an LNTV interview.
Well, if you walk down the street in Monrovia, where we have put restrictions on, you can see that most people are not taking this situation seriously. There are people that are, but there are people that are not. So we want to send out a warning. We're not saying panic, but you have to be cautious. You can't keep getting into groups. Yesterday alone, there was a big group in front of ELWA. Nobody knew what they were doing there. People are still massively gathering, and this is not good. We want them to begin to listen. We cannot bring ratting out there to start whipping people off the street. We are still saying it very calmly. You have to listen to what we are telling you in order for this virus not to spread among everybody.
The Director General of the National Public Health Institute, Dr. Musoka Fala, also gave the history of the 3 cases.
This is a result of 53 tests that we ran. We ran 53 tests, and of these 53 tests, we had 3 not positive. The good news among this is the fact that 2 of the tests were in our isolation center when we took the specimen. So as part of our policy, All high-risk contact for a confirmed case are found and are isolated to centers. So they are in our specialized center. But as an additional public health measure, once they enter our center, we have to do their test. And so initially, around the 16th, the 17th, we did the first test. These two cases, the two of the three cases were negative. But the rule is, oh, you repeat the test. And so, because initially they may not be sharing virus, but then when we repeated the test yesterday, they cannot turn out to be positive. The good news is they're not in the community walking around. Since the 16th, we've taken them from the community and isolated them in our quarantine center. The third case traveled to Sweden, Stockholm around January 29 and came back on the 3rd before we introduced the quarantine measure. But that was more than 2 months ago he came. But around the 16th of March, he started getting sick. And because of some of the training we have started with the health facility, he went to one of our health facilities, Jamala, the nurses were able to see the criteria and isolated him. Once isolated him, we were able to send our ambulance and took him to the military hospital.
Public officials have been urged to execute the mandate of their offices despite the outbreak of the coronavirus in the country. President George Weah warned that public officials will be held liable if there is low productivity at their respective areas of work. In an LNTV interview Wednesday, Presidential Press Secretary Solo Kyogbe said the Liberian leader is expected to address the nation's shortly on major issues affecting the country.
I can tell you in the coming days, the president will also be talking to his people again. He's not going to speak to the people of Liberia on a daily basis, but he will do that when the need arises. So we expect the president to be addressing the nation in the coming days, maybe before the end of the week or maybe early next week. Basically, he's going to talk with people on things that are of primary concern, and at the top of the agenda, of course, is COVID-19, urging people to be compliant, and then all the basic issues that I don't want to talk about right now. But it will be on general governance, but top on the agenda will be COVID-19. And so he is there. I mean, all he wants is that Liberia should not experience the nightmare other countries are going through. Like if you listen to radio or you went to other platforms, and you will notice that some countries having more than 11,000 deaths. That's too much for our little country with less population to experience.
Despite the announcement that 3 more cases have been reported in Liberia, government says it will introduce stringent measures based on experts' advice. Information Minister Eugene Nangwe said though government is exercising all the political will, it will need the advice of experts before introducing new measures. He spoke Wednesday in an LNTV interview.
Our response to this pandemic is very proactive. We have the measures in place, and because of that, we want to continue to solicit the support of the public in this fight, because without the communities, the public, without their acquiescence to these measures, it will be very difficult for us to succeed. So the greatest strength that we have as a country is ourselves. So we continue to engage the public, reach out to them, seek their support, provide them with timely information so that all of us can make the right decisions. Well, everything is bad in a way, but you can take some good thing out of that. The fact that after the community people reported this matter, once they saw that this lady came from across the border and she was sick, the community reported the matter the same day. And that same day, we managed to, by the next day, the specimen had been taken. We flew a plane to Granjida and we took the specimen, brought to the lab, and the testing started right away. So we are able to determine from her first test that she's negative. That shows that the surveillance system that we have in place, in tandem with the community, can help us.
The Coalition of Political Parties Women of Liberia will on today begin the distribution of anti-coronavirus materials among the 17 districts of Montserrat County. The materials, over 1,000 United States dollars, were presented to the coalition by President George Weah. The coalition's Vice President for Political Affairs is Noah Scott, and she has been explaining more about the distribution to LNTV.
On behalf of the women political parties, we'd like to say a big thank you to the government of Liberia and the people of Liberia for so far observing the rules and regulations and instructions by the health practitioner and the health ministry. Well, as an organization, when this pandemic started or came to Liberia, we were able to come up with a press release encouraging our women in political parties and our political partners to be able to respect the rules and regulations that came up by the health minister. Blessedly for us, we received a donation of 1,000 buckets with Clorox and soap cartons from our chief, feminist in chief, His Excellency, Dr. George Manning. We are through our president, Ambassador Fina Bono. And these buckets, we think, is timely now that Liberia has cases of coronavirus. Our communities, they are hard to reach communities who would not be able to afford to get buckets. So based on that, we're going to the 17th district of Montserrat to make sure we can give these buckets through the District Development Council, the DDC, so they can be able to at least reach those communities in their districts that don't have buckets, reach those markets in their districts that don't have buckets, reach those disabled, physically challenged, the young people who can afford to get buckets in those districts. We want to be able to reach to them through the different leadership to make sure we're all part of the process, keeping our nation safe and keeping the world safe.
The confirmation of 3 more coronavirus infections in the country has been termed as worrisome, needing prompt action to curtail further spread. Speaking to LNTV News, a political activist, Jiple Yensua, called on all Liberians to embrace the health protocols instituted by government to contain the virus.
About the world, sadly, like I listened to the health minister, Dr. Gala, and I listened to the National Public Health Institute director, and the information minister regarding the 3 additional cases, in our country. It's terrible and it's worrisome for us, looking at our health system. So what we need to do as Liberians, we need to join the government, be it wherever you're from, because the issue is that the virus go beyond whosoever you are, be it politician, football player, musician, whosoever you are. The virus don't care. So we ought to join it as Liberians to make sure to fight this virus and put it out of our country. So it's bad for us, so we need to join it and go along with the health protocol. Economists, quarters, interacting with some friends, family members, and Liberians. People still had a doubt that the virus is not in the country, government is making up. We need to graduate from that, because the fact of the matter is what's happened to us during the Ebola period. Edward, if you can remember, when government pronounced the first case of the Ebola from Lofa, many people say, oh, the health sector need money, they want to steal from the country, they need money from the partners. At the end of the day, we lost almost close to 4,000 Liberians. So we need to graduate and understand that, because people are responsible and
Well, if you have just joined us, this is a reminder that you are watching LNTV News Live, a 30-minute presentation of major news about Liberia and other parts of our one world. It's Thursday, the 2nd day of April 2020. My name is Zokwe Beslokonen, anchoring this edition of the program. Let's recap our headlines. Liberian health authorities reports 3 confirmed cases of coronavirus. President George Weah urges public officials to stick to call of duty amidst coronavirus outbreak. United Methodist Church launches task force to combat COVID-19 in Liberia, and away from home, Nigeria hands out 4 months worth of welfare payments in 3 areas placed into lockdown to stop the spread of coronavirus. LNTV News Live takes a short break to be back with more developments. Please stay. Welcome back to LNTV News Live. We continue with the program. Since the outbreak of coronavirus, the economy and businesses have been hard hit, with Liberia being no exception. LNTV Wednesday visited Sharks Business Center and asked the financial officer, Tivon Dennis, about the flow of business there.
So right now, due to the pandemic, the coronavirus pandemic, we have less flow traffic, as you can see while being here today. We haven't had customers maybe for the last hour or so. We understand that there are preventative measures that need to be taken, So we've closed certain segments of our business. For example, when the children go to play, we've closed that, the ball pit, so we reduce contact between people. And we have the restaurant and ice cream parlor and other things open, but still observing the social distancing that's supposed to be taking place. So, we're looking at long-term growth within the first quarter of the year, having a huge hit like this where many businesses are being closed and having less traffic in. Let's look how we can recover with this year with our long-term strategy. We just opened up our ice cream factory last year, so all the decline that we're seeing right now, just hoping that it can come back to what it is and bracing ourselves for whatever is to come. Definitely a lot more promotions you guys can.
Resident Bishop of the United Methodist Church, Samuel Choir, is urging every Liberian to take the preventive measures outlined by health authorities in the country very seriously. Bishop Samuel Choir said the church remains committed to government's mandate in suspending every church activity till the coronavirus is kicked out of the country. He spoke Wednesday during the launch of the United Methodist Church Task Force against COVID-19 in Liberia.
We have gathered here in partnership with the government of the Republic of Liberia and for the safety and well-being of our church members. As I said earlier, we have suspended some of our major activities, including our regular Sunday gatherings at our churches, closure of our schools, etc. In place of the large regular church gatherings, we have directed and encouraged our members to hold constant fasts and prayers at their respective homes. As a testimony of our commitment to fight against the spread of the virus, as well as to stem it out of our country, we were able to put together a special task force headed by Dr. Muriel Nelson. This task force was charged with the responsibility, among other things, to chart a course of action or draw up a roadmap, if you may, by which we can fight this deadly disease.
Speaking earlier, Dr. Muriel Nelson, chairperson of the United Methodist Church Task Force, said the purpose of the formation of the task force is the church way of buttressing government's efforts in the fight against the coronavirus.
The purpose of this launch today is to tell United Methodist throughout the world, to tell people in Liberia and West Africa that the United Methodist Church is an active part in the implementation of activities to get rid of COVID-19 in Liberia. And we invite you all to also participate in this process. We want to encourage you with some of the messages. Being the first is social distancing. We United Methodists who love to gather.
As Liberia has now reported another 3 confirmed cases of COVID-19, the CSO WASH network has emphasized the need for strict adherence to health protocols to prevent further spread of the virus. In a statement released in Pinsville Wednesday, the Secretary General of the CSO WASH network, Josh Kaya, called on government to enforce preventive measures while urging citizens to abide by the protocols.
The CSO WASH network has observed that certain individuals, government officials, private citizens, entertainment centers, and other institutions are not adhering to the health protocols announced by the Ministry of Health. This, the CSO WASH network believes, puts the entire country at risk. The network is also calling on the National WASH Commission to establish human rights office at the WASH Commission to address all human rights WASH-related issues and promote cordial working relationship with all civil society organizations in the country. The network is strongly demanding CSO full participation on the COVID-19 incident management system and the WASH Commission so as to create awareness, distribution of hand washing facilities, sanitizers, and carry out community outreach to inform, educate, disseminate health messages in all communities for good hygiene practices to fight this COVID-19 in Liberia. In another development,
For their parts, Sanitation and Water for All focal person Tumetekpe and CSO WASH Network Vice President Lusu Gibson had these words to say.
We encouraging all community dwellers, including our partners, development partners who are doing different activities. We encouraging all of them to get involved into the fight. Because if the country is not safe, you will not be able to implement whatever activity you want to implement. It is true that many of them may not have an emergency plan, but we're encouraging them, we're kind of appealing to them that now is a time that we still have 6 cases. It's a time to wake up as a country to do all we can to prevent this virus.
And we are hoping that our government will also look at the level of the economic. We know that over the entire world, the economic is being affected by COVID-19, but Liberia is at more risk looking at the level of poverty. There are people who cannot afford a cup of rice a day to even feed their family. So I think as we are pushing on this social distancing, this adhering to the protocols, we are also urging the government to also develop strategies that may include little economic package for the poorest people to enable them to be able to adhere to these health protocols that we all are observing.
The national coordinator of a local organization, Waking the Giant, Reverend John York, says COVID-19 will not win over Liberia once rules put in place are adhered to. Reverend York said coronavirus is a global pandemic that should be taken seriously. He spoke Wednesday in an interview with this station.
You will see that in addressing SDG 3, emergency on SDG 3 is also going to address some of our climate situation, and then it's also going to address even our coordination situation. So the whole community, the whole global community is going to, come together. So in a way, we're not saying it's good for us to have this COVID-19, but in crisis, you challenges against humanity makes humanity to evolve and comes up with good initiatives and good ventures that will make us to be more successful. We cannot allow COVID-19 to win, and that's the reason we are encouraging everyone to observe the behavioral change. It's across the globe. Now, we know that we stand very much, we are not like the European countries where the cold is, but however, we're still keeping these measures. Working the job works with church.
Let's now bring you our foreign development. Nigeria has begun handling out 4 months' worth of welfare payments upfront in 3 areas of the oil-rich country that have been placed into lockdown to stop the spread of coronavirus. Beneficiaries of the Social Security scheme introduced by President Muhammadu Buhari 2 years ago usually receive a monthly payment of $13 United States dollars. But to better help the poor and vulnerable cope with the new restriction, a lump sum of $52 is being made. It will also mean that the recipients will not need to come and collect for the next 3 months. On Sunday, President Muhammadu Buhari announced a lockdown in the capital Abuja and the states of Lagos and Ogun, affecting 25 million people with a ban on travel and the closure of businesses. With that from the foreign scene, let's now recap our headlines. Liberian health authorities report 3 new confirmed cases of coronavirus. President George Weah urges public officials to stick to call of duty amidst coronavirus outbreak. United Methodist Church launches task force to combat COVID-19 in Liberia. And away from home, Nigeria hands out 4 months' worth of welfare payments in 3 areas placed into lockdown to stop the spread of coronavirus. Well, this is how we come to the end of the program, LNTV News Live. Many thanks to you all for your viewing role. Many thanks to all of our reporters, correspondents, technicians, switchers, and editors for making this package a success. A big thank you to Sekou Krumah and his team at Top FM in Zouedjou City, Grand Jile County for relaying our news and public affairs programs. This program comes to you every Monday to Friday with the early edition at 10 to 10:30 in the morning and the late edition at 8 to 8:30 in the evening. On behalf of the entire television staff, my name is Zokwe Beslo Konen, bidding you a pleasant day from Painesville. Good day. Thanks for watching.
Begin at TonesLiberia.com.
National Toiletries Incorporated, Liberia-owned and reliable toiletries company, specialized in advanced quality toiletries assorted products such as Kumba tissue, Kumba baby pampers, Kumba napkins, Kumba paper towel, and Kumba Flora. At National Toiletries Incorporated, we also have Gulf LC and UP Cosmetic Products. We have the expertise and experience. We train professional Liberian men